One of snooker's biggest names, John Virgo, has died at the age of 79. He's best remembered for presenting the popular BBC One Saturday night game show Big Break alongside Jim Davidson in the 1990s.
The voice of snooker fell silent on Wednesday morning when John Virgo passed away at age 79 in Spain. Just weeks earlier, he had been in the BBC commentary box calling the Masters final, his voice as recognisable and passionate as ever. What makes his death particularly shocking is how suddenly it happened, from a routine afternoon to his final breath, in just a matter of hours. Tuesday afternoon appeared completely ordinary for John and his wife Rosie. The couple had been shopping. At 2:30 p.m. that same day, John spoke with his close friend James Mallion. Nothing seemed amiss, nothing indicated the tragedy to come. At 2:30 on Wednesday morning, John woke his wife Rosie in pain and discomfort. She immediately called an ambulance, and he was rushed to Zanit Hospital in Benalmádena. The medical team diagnosed him with a ruptured aorta. The main artery running through the body had catastrophically failed. Despite the efforts of hospital staff, John Virgo was pronounced dead at approximately 5:30 am, just 3 hours after waking in pain. James Mallion received the emergency call from Rosie and rushed to the hospital, but he arrived roughly 30 minutes before John's passing, too late to say a final goodbye to his friend. The doctors explained that a ruptured aorta offers virtually no chance of survival. Mallion recounted what the medical team told him. According to the doctor, there's nothing medical that causes it. It can just happen, which is a bit scary. And he said that with a rupture like that, if it had happened to a fit 30-year-old man, it would almost certainly have been the same outcome. The rupture wasn't caused by any underlying health condition. Mallion emphasized, so it wasn't due to any underlying health issues. It wasn't due to any ongoing illness, and that's why it has been so tough, because it was just completely out of the blue. The timing of John's death carries particular poignancy. February 9th would have marked his and Rosie's 16th wedding anniversary, just 2 days away. The couple had plans for a celebratory dinner that evening. Even more significantly, March 4th would have been John's 80th birthday. Rosie and John had been planning a special weekend trip to Madrid to celebrate this milestone. Mallion explained, they had plans to go for dinner together on the 9th and were planning a trip together to Madrid for a lovely weekend to celebrate his 80th, but now obviously that's not going to happen. John Virgo was born in Salford in March 1946. He pursued an 18-year professional snooker career before retiring in 1994. His finest year as a player came in 1979 when he won the UK Championship and reached the semi-finals of the World Championship. At his peak, he achieved a world ranking of number 10. Beyond his competitive achievements, John became known for his trick shots and his impressions of fellow players, displaying a personality that would later translate perfectly to broadcasting. After retirement, John transformed into what many called the voice of snooker. His BBC commentary career spanned decades, characterized by his iconic catchphrase, "Where's the cue ball going?", which became synonymous with his broadcasting style. In 2021, he was inducted into the World Snooker Hall of Fame, recognizing both his playing career and his contribution to popularizing the sport through broadcasting. From 1991 to 2002, John co-presented Big Break with comedian Jim Davidson. The snooker-themed game show aired over 200 episodes plus 17 Christmas specials on primetime BBC, bringing snooker to millions of viewers who might never have watched the sport otherwise. John's final BBC appearance occurred at the 2025 Masters final in January, just weeks before his death. He provided commentary for the match between Kyren Wilson and John Higgins, which Wilson won 10-6 to claim $350,000 in prize money. As Wilson potted the final green ball to secure victory, Virgo delivered what would be his last words on BBC television, and now, he can relax, the job is done. Runner-up twice in the Masters, but a winner this time. John Higgins will approach the table and shake his hand and say well played. John Higgins was disappointing. He had a great run to the final but just couldn't produce it today. But Kyren Wilson, every credit, he's been the big scorer all through the tournaments. And it's Kyren Wilson now who is the John Stones Paint Masters champion, his second Triple Crown victory. Stephen Hendry, who worked alongside Virgo in the commentary box that day, later posted on Instagram, "Was only a couple of weeks ago I was with JV in the commentary box at the Masters. He was the greatest to work with. Nobody recreated the excitement of a match like him. Where's the cue ball going? Very sad news, absolutely gutted." John maintained an extraordinarily active schedule right up until his death. He had travelled back to the UK for the Masters commentary at Alexandra Palace, returned to Spain for a weekend, then went back to Britain for exhibition matches over 3 or 4 days. He arrived back at his Costa del Sol home on Friday, just 4 days before his death. His upcoming calendar included plans to cover both the World Championship and World Seniors Championship at the Crucible. Jason Francis noted, "JV was doing what he loved to do right up until the end, entertaining everyone." John had been married 3 times. His third wife, Rosie Rees, worked as a publishing executive. They married in 2009 after a courtship with an unusual backstory. In a 2017 interview with The Mirror, John revealed an endearing story. "A mate tried to set us up years ago, but then his girlfriend said she wouldn't be interested in me. I was so frightened of a knockback, I didn't ask her for out for 22 years. He explained, "By then I'd lived on my own for 5 years, and I needed that time to recenter myself. But eventually, we went on a date. I used my wit, charm and repartee on her and, blow me down, 2 months later, we got engaged." John had 2 children from previous marriages, a son named Gary and a daughter named Brooke Leah, plus grandchildren. In her tribute following his death, Rosie stated, "We were just days shy of our 16-year wedding anniversary. I can't imagine life without John. He was the love of my life and my best friend." The tributes from the snooker world poured in immediately. Ronnie O'Sullivan, who had previously described Virgo as a mate for life, wrote on X, "Finished my match to get the news that JV has passed away. Love to Rosie, Brooke and Gary. Such a great mate who I loved spending time with. Absolutely gutted." Shaun Murphy, now part of BBC's commentary team, stated, "I first met John in 1994, filming Junior Big Break. He then went on to become a friend and colleague. I learned so much from him whilst sharing a commentary box. The voice of snooker will be sadly missed. Rest in peace, John Virgo." Neil Robertson, the 2010 world champion, added, "So sad to hear about the news of John Virgo's passing. He was a great character and an amazing pundit/commentator. I had the pleasure of sharing the booth with him during the World Championships a couple of years ago, in which I got a huge appreciation for how good he was." Jim Davidson, John's Big Break co-host, posted on Instagram, "Heartbroken to hear that my great mate John Virgo has passed away at 79. What a character. What a talent. From our time together on Big Break to the snooker commentary chair, you brought so much joy to so many. Rest easy, John. You will be missed." Hazel Irvine, a BBC presenter who worked alongside Virgo for over 20 years, told BBC News he had such a great voice, he had such gravitas, but also he had the wit and the humour that could keep us all on the edge of our seats. He was hugely loved, and I think he's completely irreplaceable. During her tribute, Irvine appeared visibly emotional. The World Snooker Tour stated, "Everyone at World Snooker Tour is deeply saddened to learn of the passing of legendary snooker player and broadcaster John Virgo, aged 79. Our thoughts are with his family and loved ones. Rest in peace, JV." At the World Grand Prix in Hong Kong, players and fans observed a minute's silence in John Virgo's memory before the day's session began. The snooker world united in grief.